Merkel Media.
He put it in park, threw open the driver's door, ran out the side of the car, across the front of it, and jumped right off the side of the bridge in front of me.
The only people that really pulled over were truckers.
He said, "We're going to Hodge," and he didn't slow down. He went across the median onto the oncoming traffic, but where they could see him coming, they just got out of the way.
I noticed this plane was really low. He went right in front of us, hit the fence, and it spun around. 30 seconds more, he could have hit us.
But I went around that truck, and a guy stepped out from behind the truck and threw a piece of wood, and it shot through my window just like a spear and stuck in the back of the cab of my truck.
That's probably one of the stranger things I've seen.
Welcome to Hammer Lane Legends. I'm Brian Merkel.
And I'm the professional Brian Shipper.
Oh, he showed up today.
And I'm Mike Dre.
If you have a crazy and wild story you would like to share with us from the road, or you have just stories you'd like to have a conversation with us about from the road, whether you're a truck driver or whether you're an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, or an EMT driver, a fire truck driver.
Or if you're just lonely and want to talk. That's a different number.
That's your number, Mike. No. We'll send that over to your house. Go ahead and contact us at hammerlanelegends@gmail.com. That's hammerlanelegends@gmail.com. And get a hold of me, and I'll respond to you, and we'll bring you on the show. Shipper, tell them about to buy me a coffee.
Buy me a coffee.
It feels weird. We've been at it a
Keep
little.
us fueled. Keep us caffeinated at buymeacoffee.com/Hammerlane. Virtual tip jar. Follow the simple prompts. If you like what you're listening to, it helps promote the show, keep us fueled, keep us caffeinated, keep the show on the road.
Amen, brother.
Have at
Thank
it.
you, sir. He is right. He did.
Very professional.
Professional Brian did show up today, and that's fantastic. It was exciting.
Just don't piss me off.
Did you just come into it pissed off? I don't think we have to do anything.
We don't even have to say anything. It's just
Hi.
it's
Now
normal.
he's angry.
Nice job, Mike. You ticked him off. Well, today we are talking to Richard. Richard, how are you doing?
I'm good. Doing well.
Awesome. You said you're getting a little bit warmer down there. The weather's starting to warm up a little bit for you.
They said next week we'll be hitting in the mid-60s.
Oh, send that up here.
I know, right?
Well, we're going to be like 45 next week.
Yesterday it was 9 degrees when I got up.
9. Nice.
Niner.
And they wonder why we stay sick all the time.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Where's all this global warming they've been talking about? That's what I want to know.
It'll be coming next week.
All of a sudden we're getting a heat wave. Yeah. I know. The ice caps are melting, right? It's that warm. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Richard. Just kind of fill us in on your life and things that you've done, and we'll go from there.
Like I say, I live in Canton, North Carolina. I raised on a small farm. My dad had cattle, plus worked at the paper mill here in Canton. We had it's closed down last year, but we've got what was a big paper mill here in town. Basically decided early on I was going to be a mechanic. I didn't know which way it'd go, or if it'd be trucks, heavy equipment, or what. But I will say this, before I decided to become a mechanic, I wanted to.
Oh, no kidding. Nice. So, what kind of work have you done as far as areas, and what kind of areas of expertise did you kind of get yourself involved in?
The company I worked for 32 years, I might go in and work on a chainsaw, and by the end of the day, I'd be working on a D10 Caterpillar. I've done a little bit of everything as far as heavy equipment and trucks. Of course, we had low boy trucks and stuff, so done the trucks too.
That is really, I mean, just the varied type of of stuff that you worked on. It's amazing. That really is fascinating.
We
Go
had, at one time, probably had 20 dump trucks, at least 3 lowboy trucks running. Plus, they was over 50 Ford F-150 pickups in the fleet, plus their service trucks. So it was just a wide range of what all we had, just everything.
Job security there.
How about
Always
it?
something breaking.
Oh,
Especially when you got that much
wouldn't
stuff
believe.
hanging around.
But most of my work was out in the field. I had a service truck that I drove home. A lot of mornings, I've heard you talk about hours you could drive. It was nothing for
Right.
me to get up at 2:30 in the morning, drive 290, 300 miles, work 7 or 8 hours, and then get in the truck and drive back to get to the house. It just long hours sometimes.
I'm never going to bitch about a 10-hour truck
I
every day.
I know, right? It's like, wow, that because it seems like when you get involved in like your line of work or what we do, that just hours are just, they just pass by like minutes. I mean, that's just the way it is. You're tied to it. You're tied to your job.
Yep.
Hours quickly turn into decades.
They do.
I've worked in Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia. Just you name it. I forgot more places than I remember ever going, to be honest with you. I'll
I bet.
think about something and try to remember what year it was. And a lot of times I have to remember the year that I was doing something by what model of service truck I was driving. But it's done a little bit of everything.
Did you have any formal training to become a diesel mechanic, or are you like a lot of the guys, on the job training? Yeah.
Well, no, he said he graduated
I did
from
go to the local tech school, AB Tech, and it's in Asheville. I went there for a year to get a certificate. Okay. I started out, I went to the Caterpillar place. Actually, before I got out of AB Tech, I went to work part-time at the Cat dealership here in Asheville. I worked that was in 88. Well, I stayed with them until 91, and you guys may remember, early 90s, the economy slumped just a little. Well, I was the low man on the totem pole, so I got laid off and was going to draw unemployment. I was single, young, had a little money in my pocket. I used to grow tobacco also, and I was just going to wait till I got that tobacco crop up. And the superintendent from what was then Taylor Murphy Construction in Asheville, North Carolina, called me, and I hated to turn down a job. I went to work there in 91 and left the year before last due to my health.
Wow.
That was a pretty long career.
That is a long career.
Yep. 32 years.
How about it?
Well, the career's partly why I'm disabled now. Hands, feet. I've got neuropathy pretty bad in my hands and feet.
Okay.
And from what some of the doctors have told me, the way I treated my hands and my feet is one reason I've got that issue. So it is what it is.
Right.
I worked as long as I could.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all you can do. You do the best you can. I know what you mean when you say 91, the bottom dropped out of everything, because there was a slump, which is I was installing security systems in businesses and homes, and the bottom dropped out. And then I became a truck driver.
Yep.
I just graduated high school in 91.
Yeah, I know. You make me feel old. I mean, I graduated in 86,
I'm 55.
88, and had 3 kids.
I think, Brian, you're 55, aren't you?
56. I'll be 57 this year.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I'm a little behind.
I'm in my mid.
All right.
That's all right. So is
and
Mike.
Shipper's the old man, ain't he?
Kid.
I'm only
Oh, yeah, yes, I am.
He is. He is the old man.
But not in my mind and not in my heart.
But everything
well,
else
I'm not in my mind. But
you're telling me that old.
Yeah, my joints tell me I'm 80.
Well,
That's
my body tells me I'm 100, but I'm still 55 in my mind anyway.
Yeah, I heard that. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
I do find, working on the wrecker, road service and that 24-hour, what you did when you were 18, 20 years old. Yeah. that kill, I know that participated in the acceleration of my knees going.
Yeah.
Jumping up off the flatbed.
Yeah. Up off the wrecker, down off the wrecker, down changing tires, back up again.
Oh, I pinched my finger.
That's
That'll
the
be all
worst
right
thing a
tomorrow.
man
Yeah,
can
you
do.
pinch your finger a week later.
Exactly.
I worked
Yeah.
with a boy that
You know, and that was back.
I worked with a boy that drove the lube truck, and he's done had to have both of his knees replaced, and it's not a thing in the world, but jumping off that equipment, off the tracks and stuff.
Yep.
And but I'm fortunate. Now my knees are still good. That's one of the few things about me still works, and I've never, thank God, never had no back trouble. But I've burnt my arms.
Right.
I've ruptured a bicep and had to have metal dug out of my arms, and it's just.
Wow.
If I knew I was going to live this long, I'd took better care of myself.
Right.
Ain't that the truth?
A lot of people say that when they're young.
Yeah.
40 years old, that's still long away.
Walk it off, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Rub some dirt on
Well,
Yeah, that's it. But boy, you hit
The way
you hit
I was
50 and it's like
raised-
everything just
the way I was raised is you worked. Nothing stopped you. You worked sick. It didn't matter. My daddy was a worker. He used to tell me that hard work will never kill you. It may not kill you, but it'll sure work you over. I can tell you that right now.
It won't kill you, but it'll shorten your lifespan.
That'd be the direct cause of
That's
death.
the truth. That is exactly the truth.
it really is. It is the bane of our existence. I think we all are struggling with that thing, but that's just reality. It is what it is, and you just keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
And sometimes it comes to a point where if I didn't do this, if I didn't just push myself to do it, which I took off on Wednesday because I wasn't feeling good. So, but hey, I've learned by this at this point in my life, I've got a fake hip. I'm slowing down now. I'm starting to replace parts.
Well, you got one half done, so you should be half gooder.
I am half gooder, but the other half is better. So
should have went for that group
Half
package
gooder.
both at one time.
It's
And one hip
something.
tries to get ahead of the other one. Can't keep up.
that's right.
Yeah.
It is something. It really
and
is.
we
Yeah,
have
that's-
to work.
yeah.
I mean, the United States depends on us, and that's we're
got
the
that right.
ones, and you're gonna have to work because you sure wasn't born into welfare or nothing. So what do you do but lean into the collar? That's all you can do.
And a lot of people don't think about what you did. They say, oh, well, truckers keep the country moving, but
Right.
the truckers aren't moving if the mechanics don't keep the trucks moving.
Yeah.
And I'm always fascinated by that.
Well,
Like,
it
you
takes-
said you went to. Go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say it takes all
Right.
of us. I mean, and another interesting tidbit.
It does.
My wife drove a truck for 20 years accident free, and she run cross country, been in every state but one or two up in the northeast. But she's got some good stories to tell also.
Oh my word! Yeah, that's
Never come on.
fantastic. Yes,
20
sir.
years she drove. Wow.
Yes, sir. We'd
Yeah.
love
Oh,
to have
yeah,
a
I
conversation
rode
with
with
her. It'd be fantastic.
You'll never see nobody back a truck no better than she can. Now I've been with her. I've seen her blind
Awesome.
side, and she's a medical assistant now. She likes to brag about it. She's got a CDL and a CMA now. So
That's awesome.
And that doesn't mean a
But,
country music
Oh,
award.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, her dad was a trucker, and I mean he was an old school trucker.
Right.
He drove log wagons and stuff, and
Wow.
she's I mean I think she worked one whole winter up in Minnesota hauling froze potatoes for some company up there. She said when it snowed she didn't see
Wow.
blacktop again till up in the spring.
It's Minnesota.
It's Minnesota,
yeah. Boy, I can attest to that. Our son Jack went to college for 1 year in Minnesota. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm dropping you off now. It's hot. I'll pick you up when it's hot next year. See ya. Have fun. You get a phone call and it's 30 degrees below zero. You're like, dude, don't go outside. So yeah, Minnesota's a cold.
Yeah.
But we would love to have your wife on that. Cool conversation, man.
Yeah, I'll tell her. I mean, tell her to get in touch with you if
Yeah,
she's interested. Might
Yeah,
line up a
please do.
weekend and come up there and meet you in your studio. Me and her both might do that at some point in time.
That would be
There you
interesting.
go.
That'd be fantastic. We'd love to have you
To
in
the
studio.
Mecca that is Shoeville.
It's Shoeville. Yeah, exactly. You know, we've got a hotel. Well, not in Shoeville, but you know, it's close.
I mean,
But that's
I
interesting.
don't
That is
work
really
more, so
fascinating.
yeah, she's I mean, and I'm
You
not
know,
bragging on her
we're-
because she's my wife. I'm just saying she's good.
I believe it. I've seen my wife drive. It's not the same story.
No, I see mine too. It's
Oh,
no,
oh,
it's
well,
not
now-
a.
I've seen her blind
Wait a minute.
side.
My
So
wife
She'd kill
drives
me if she heard me
blind.
tell you this. She can drive a big truck excellent, but she don't do good in minivans and stuff.
well, they're too damn small.
and you got to
Wait.
turn the steering wheel
Yeah,
the opposite
right.
direction.
She's waiting for it to bend in the middle.
Most definitely.
You got to give her a trailer on the back of that minivan.
Right.
Too good.
That thing right. That is fantastic. That is really cool. But yeah, that'd be great. That would be great. And you know, I love to hear stories like that because it's I mean, she was doing it before it was, you know, in vogue for women to be drivers. You know, I mean, she did it for 20 years. You said, and you know, how long has she been out of the business?
Well, she was driving. She's my second wife. She was driving when I met her about 12 or 13 years ago. Well, she was concerned that the driving might not work good for us, so she went to school and got her CMA license. And she worked in as a CMA for a while, and where she was at just wasn't paying, and she got the opportunity to. We had a chip mill that supplied the paper mill in town with chips, so she got a job just hauling between the chip mill and the paper mill. Well, that kindly went by the wayside, so she got a job driving. She was pulling these containers, Connex boxes, from Kingsport to Charleston, South Carolina, and taking empties back. And then that fell through, and it got down to where she's hauling produce to Florida and back for $300 a trip. And she decided she'd be better off to go back in the doctor's office, and it's been a lot better. She's like myself, she's had both. I've not had them, but she's had both of her knees replaced, and she's got a wrist. It's got some artificial bones and stuff in it due to an accident with a trailer door when she was trucking. So she's been out of the truck for about a year and a half now.
Okay. Well, that would be cool. That sounds like it's really, you know, she sounds like a really good keeper too. I mean, she, you know, gave up on it, you know, for you, you know, for your relationship.
Well,
I think that's pretty
She still got her CDL.
Great.
If
Yeah,
if
well,
me and
you know,
her
got to hold on to it.
yeah, oh yeah. Well, what do you? Every 2 years you got to get a physical for $100 at this one place, so that ain't that bad. And I mean, there's an opportunity there. If me and her would have got together sooner, there's a good chance me and her might have started trucking together. Might have tried to buy a truck, but it just, by the time me and her got together, my first wife had passed away. Well, a year later, my mother passed away. Well, that left me to take care of my dad, and I had to be at home at that point. And along about that time, I took a supervisor's job where I worked, so I wouldn't have to be out of town and have late hours and stuff. So it is what it is. You know how the life goes. You don't never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, make do with what you got, and you just make it work.
Yep, whatever it takes.
You know it, because it ain't gonna stop. You know, life doesn't stop because of our, you know, our life kind of takes a turn. So, you know, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But I got a question about your career.
Good.
Well, I have a question about your career path. You said you went to school and got your diesel mechanic training back in the day. Throughout the years, technology changes. How do you keep up with that? Do you take courses, or
you learn the best
all on
way
your
you
job?
Can. The company I worked for, we got to where we were having to send a lot of our newer trucks with DEF and emissions on them to the dealers. And I'll say that you might get it repaired at the dealer and you might not get it repaired because the dealers can't even keep up with it. That's emissions ruin the industry. I mean, they just plumb ruined it. And I don't know. I'm hoping there's hints about a lot of that's going to be laxed a little with our new administration. I hope he does what he says he's going to do.
Yeah, we will find out, won't we?
I would love to think some of it would be, but I think that all the industry's already spent billions of dollars to try to get this stuff in. I don't think they're going to take a drastic turn. It's 4 years, and then whoever we get in next,
I know what
try to go.
But
the auto industry is the same way.
A lot of your trucks can be deleted, and that helps them tremendously. But I will tell you this, as far as I'm concerned, when they quit making Caterpillar engines for the road, they quit making a truck engine. So that's my personal opinion. I've been around them all, and that Cat was by far the best in its day. But the emissions killed them, so that's where we are.
Yeah. I'll attest to that because I did run tractors with cats in them, and then once the emission came on them, they were in the garage more than they were on the road. Unfortunately,
just chokes everything.
And they were literally like one of the last engines to drop the emissions on their motors.
Oh wow!
They held out for as long as they could.
Yeah,
that's like so many companies rebuild the old engines.
Go ahead.
Well, and that's, a thing that I know was going on here. They were taking new truck glider kits and putting the old C15 Cat engines in them, new rear or whatever rear ends you wanted to put in it, whatever transmission. You were getting a new truck, but it still had the old power plant in it. And they even went back. They run out of C15 blocks and stuff to reman. Cat started reproducing new C15 short blocks and stuff so they could continue to do that. But I don't know. Wow. Did I not hear you say that you uses a lot of Max now?
Yeah, over here at Pitt, Ohio, yeah, we have Max, and then we're starting to get into Freightliners, yeah.
Okay. Well, Mac used to be the best truck you could have. I was around them in the construction world. I've seen them put 20 tons of rock on a triaxle, and the front wheels come off the ground when they change gears in them. That's how when you used it. We used to, when you was doing a job like a road job, you were bonded. Basically, the construction company owned the stretch of roads you was working on. Well, I drove a dump truck some for them because when I was a mechanic on the job, but if I didn't have nothing broke down, I would get in the truck and drive. And man, them Max was tough. They just unreal how tough they was. But now they're built by Volvo, and from what I'm understanding, there is a lot of similarities between a Volvo engine and a Mack engine now. So they're probably coming out of the same place now. And the toughness has went away.
Yeah.
Like the frames I know are. You could look at some our Macs, and there's every once in a while you'll come across something that's stamped Volvo or
I mean, it's come to the point where they actually have the mirrors, on the hoods, they're stamped either Volvo or Mack.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's how idiotic it became that they're put the name on it to make sure they go on the right vehicle.
That's how that little engine light is too.
Yeah.
It just comes on automatically.
Yeah, well, it's to let you know the engine is there.
Yeah.
You just heard the old saying, didn't you?
Check engine light.
They just about outlawed Max because they had two ice holes looking at each other.
Oh.
Puppy dog on the hood.
Where's he at? Asheville, North Carolina?
Yeah.
Where did Matt go? They went South Carolina, didn't they? Mac down there. Are they in South Carolina?
Mac,
Volvo now.
Well, at Greensboro.
North Carolina.
That's North Carolina.
Okay.
part of their headquarters is in Greensboro, North Carolina. Yes, and they used to build
Right.
some of their
Yeah.
heavy equipment in Arden, North Carolina.
Right. I just know when Mac made the move to go south, you know, half the crew up here from Allentown, you know, I know I have friends of mine that actually made the move to south. So yeah, I guess they went South Carolina. I don't remember where they went.
It ends with Carolina.
One of the Carolinas.
They went to the Carolinas. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's
What was
North
it?
Carolina.
It's
I
North
know
Carolina.
North Carolina's got a Freightliner plant here too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the most popular truck on the road now are those Freightliner Cascadias
Oh, really?
for fleet
Yep.
trucks.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Biggest seller.
That's
But those that you know, as you attest to what a Mac used to be, you know, a freight shaker is not a freight shaker nowadays.
Yeah,
No way.
No.
They still shake you, but
I think as far as trucks, Peterbilt's and Kenworths are still pretty good trucks. I was around some of the newer Kenworths, and I'd been around some of the newer Peterbilt's. But I know the old Freightliners, a complaint with them is the dashes would crack or the bolts and screws would fall out of the dash.
that's
But there's
Mac, too.
none of them built like they used to be.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
More plastic and
pickups. I'm a do or die Ford man, and my wife has got a 2020 F-150, and we're fixing to get a new engine put in it because it's consuming so much oil that it don't have but 50,000 miles on it. So thank goodness it's still under warranty. But
is that
it's
V6 in that?
Oh no, we're V8
Is that the
people.
V6?
That V6 ain't worth it. I drove one of them where I worked, the twin turbos, and them engines are terribly dependent on vacuum. Well, you develop a vacuum leak, the thing won't run right. The one I was driving, the vacuum got so bad on it that the hubs was locking it. They used the vacuum to unlock the hubs when you crank the engine. I'd be driving down the interstate and it'd lose so much vacuum the hubs would lock in while I was going down the interstate.
Well, at least you have traction.
Yeah.
You can't turn the wheels, but you have traction.
No, they don't. What it would do is it would try to engage, but it wouldn't engage because you've just got a little ring of gears trying to go into another place, and it would just, you'd hear it go, to clicking, just awful racking. You know, it wouldn't take long for it to grind it plumb out to where it wouldn't do nothing. But
right,
I don't know. They just ain't nothing. I've got I say I'm a Ford man. I'm a Ford F-250 Super Duty man. I like those. I've got two of the trucks with the old 7.3 diesel in them, and it would not take nothing for nary one of them.
Those old Power Strokes.
Yeah.
They got the.
And there again, I was around.
Yeah, the 7.3s were the international motors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're international. That may be why they're as good as they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. International's been around for years. As far as the Dodges go, the Cummins is not that bad of an engine. It's just the truck will fall apart around the engine.
Right. Yeah.
Rust.
if they could actually marry up a Cummins engine to the Chevy's Allison transmission and put it in a truck, that would be the ultimate pickup truck.
That new Duramax they put in the pickups are pretty good now though too.
No, they had problems with the fuel rails and
really,
there was going wrong with the water with the diesel. And, it was a pain in the ass. But the problem with Dodge is, that motor. I just had the whole top end of mine done at 248,000. Don't tell me about no 6.0.
Oh no, jump.
Yeah.
Hey, boat anchor.
Yeah.
6.0s and the 6.4s were boat anchors.
Wow.
The 6.7 for
proud
the
owner of the
newest
6.0.
they've got now is pretty good.
Yeah.
I drive an electric.
Yeah. Shut up, Johnny.
I got a Hyundai.
Yeah, that I mean, when you're talking about these what each manufacturer has to do, and I don't know about Dodge or Chevy, but Ford to actually work on your motor, you take the cab off the frame. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
who in
yeah,
the
that's
hell ever
talking
designed
about-
something like that? It's a common thing when because I wasn't doing this myself. I handed it to somebody. I says, call me when it's done.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
crazy.
the engine set back under the cab, the way they're placed in the truck.
Right.
That's
the
even the
problem.
6.0 engines.
too
Now,
far under.
I had a boy that worked for me over there. He could actually get a 6.0 engine out without pulling the cab. But now it was a long, drawn out process. A lot of jacking and lifting and
Right.
letting down and pulling forward and all. It was a process.
It was a more of a pain in the ass than anything to try to do it that way. Yeah, I mean, that was the big thing. Oh, I got one out without taking the cab off. Yeah.
Good luck getting it back in there.
Yeah. It was a pain in the ass.
Well, the problem, we pulled the cab. Now, this was a multi-million-dollar construction company, and I never could talk them into putting a lift in. See, if you've got a lift, you can use the lift to set the cab off the truck. But they wouldn't ever put us in a two-post lift just to do stuff like that, and it seemed like we was having to do everything the hard way. And we got it done, but we done a lot of stuff the hard way.
Oh, my God.
That's my truck.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's my truck.
He's showing me a picture of his truck with the cab off and everything. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
I got when I did the 248,000 mile hey kids heads and everything.
Holy moly.
That is nuts.
Yeah. That's how that's a typical picture of a Ford at a dealership,
What do you need a lift for? As long as you got a forklift somewhere on site,
Lift
that's
it
your
up.
lift.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or a front end
wow.
loader with some chains.
It's a pain.
Hey,
It's
I
just a
got
pain,
another
like you
adage
said.
for you. There's I usually tell people I'd rather have a brother and a sister in the whorehouse is to have a cousin driving a Chevrolet. That's kind of what I tell everybody.
You guys go to the same school, Ship?
Nothing wrong with that.
It's hilarious.
Nothing wrong with that.
I got people in my family that are like that. I'm going to drive a Ford. I'm going to go drive a Chevy. I've never been that. I'm brand agnostic. Whatever I like at the time, whatever works for me. I've had them all, and I've had a lot of cars. None of them have been particularly good. My Ford Expedition never gave me any problem, but I only had it for 5 years.
Well,
so
I'm like this. I don't like the looks of the Chevrolet or the Dodges right now. I still think Ford is the best looking truck, personally. And like I say, I worked at a company that, in my career, there ain't no telling how many Ford 150s, 250s, 350s, Super Duties, 450s, and 550s I was around. And I seen how the trucks held up. And the Ford just held up good. We scattered a few Chevrolets in along, and even they were going towards Toyotas when I left. But the Chevrolet sure didn't do nothing to impress me. And but I like the looks of the Ford. I was raised with Fords. Like I say, I've got a 76 F100 sitting up at the barn, and my daddy bought it new, and that was my first vehicle. I was raised around Fords and in Fords, so I reckon we've all got a reason.
That's why the F-150 has been the most popular truck for 30 years or something like that. It's been at the top of the heap for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I still like jumping in. I have an old Ford myself. I still like taking a ride with my 49 going around town. And just that's back when it was simple. It was a carburetor and gas. That's it.
Yeah.
No power steering.
No power steering, no power brake, no nothing.
That was a real driving experience. I had my old Mustang. No power. You don't realize everybody thinks those old cars and truck look so cool. They look awesome, but they all ride compared to modern vehicles.
And we're not used to that.
No,
well,
you get out of driving one of the trucks, you know, the gas and everything.
My old F100, Eddie ordered it new without power steering. He just didn't believe a truck wasn't supposed to have power steering. Now this was earlier on. Now later on, if he bought one, it had everything on it. But I drive that truck, I'm pretty good sized youngin', and I could steer it with one arm and stuff. Well, a buddy of mine had a 68 or 69 Camaro, and it didn't have power steering. And I drove it one night. Well, I just wheeled it around. It steered a whole lot better than my truck. He says, "How in the world do you do that?" I said, "Get in my pickup and try to steer it, and then complain about this one." I said, "You got to be tough to drive them old vehicles."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do.
That's how I learned on an old Ford F100 with the 3 on the tree. It was a 72 Ford F100.
My truck had 3 on the tree.
On the tree. Yeah, that's how I learned how to drive stick, was in that thing.
Yep. I converted mine to a granny gear 4-speed, but I wished I'd left the 3-speed in it just so my kids could have experienced the 3 on the tree, so they'd have seen what it was like.
Yeah, that died out, what, mid-'80s? Mid-'70s?
I think a little earlier than that.
Yeah.
I think it was,
Yeah, a few of the 80s, my early 80s had it.
I think by then everything was going more gears to the transmission for fuel, because they were trying to get fuel economy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. 5 speeds were introduced already.
Yeah.
They were indeed.
Yep. That was the big fuel saver, the 5-speed.
The extra,
well, in the mid-'70s, they were trying to cut fuel everywhere. They have big V8 engines that have 110 horsepower. In
a car as long as a boat.
Well, even the big trucks and stuff that had V8s back then, they cut the power down on them with all the, all the air regulation and stuff that went into. That's when catalytic converters came in, slowed the cars down. All the
air pumps,
the carb pumps, the vacuum stuff to recirculate. It all cut the horsepower down. The same thing that's happening with diesels now. There's so much crap on the engine, you can't get any horsepower out of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, ain't that the truth? Back to Richard.
It was interesting. I'm like you. I can remember from the old truck I was telling you about, that 76. It was just beginning to have the pollution stuff on it, and that is actually why Ford come out with a F-150, because it changed the GVW. The F-100s had to have it, but a F-150 didn't have to have the smog stuff on it. And like I say, that old truck I've got had an air pump. It had a catalytic converter, which that stuff's long gone. It had the gas recirculatory system to where the fumes went back to the tank. But just to see how it's all changed over the years, it's aggravation, but it's kind of been interesting too.
Well, it's amazing what they get out of these small displacement engines now. Yeah, I'm not talking diesel, but I'm talking like everything comes with a 4-cylinder now.
Mm-hmm.
The turbocharged 4-cylinder, they're putting out way more horsepower than the old V8s ever did, and way more torque too.
Well, I'm waiting from the twin turbo, one of them 5.0 Ford engines. I'd like to see that.
No, I'm sure somebody did it already, just not Ford.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd like to see Ford do it. I'm sure it's been done. I mean, you can buy superchargers and everything else to go on. You can get over 1,000 horsepower out of one of them with just bolt-on stuff.
Yeah, well, the Ford dealerships or Ford Racing Performance, they offer a supercharger for an F-150 right from the dealership. That's warranted and everything. Yeah. You can have them bolted on and flash your engine or flash the ECU to get all. And I forget what the horsepower numbers are on there, but a lot of people do it because it's cheap. It's a cheap horse, relatively speaking, compared to building something out.
Yeah.
And it's all under warranty. So
and they can do it all. They can program the computer and everything themselves. They should have everything you'd need to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so you're doing it yourself, and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you did this. You can't. We're not covering your warranty anymore." That's horsepower out of it.
One of my old 7.3 trucks, I waited till it went out of warranty, had over 100,000 on it before I done any doctoring to it. And when I decided to do it, I didn't have to worry about warranty. I knew if it blowed up, it was going to be on me. So I went to doing several upgrades to it. It runs pretty good now.
You ever put it on a dyno to see what it's actually putting out, horsepower wise or torque?
No, it come from a factory with 225, and I've better than doubled the power out of it. And and see, it ain't about horsepower. it's about the torque when you talk about a diesel. My truck is not as fast as the newer diesels. But they're not race cars.
Mm-hmm.
I like to hook to a trailer, and I've yet to turn up a hill to where I couldn't accelerate. Now it's turning the sky black with smoke, but it'll go on. It moves pretty good.
Rolling coal.
How about it? You don't do that anymore now, do you?
What?
Rolling coal.
No, you just hear a Jetsons car. That's about all I can do.
Well,
That's kind of cool though.
That's just a byproduct of power in them old engines because you're turning more fuel to them.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
I do
dial
believe
them up and smoke.
EG, I like to. You need to be sure you got a exhaust temperature gauge in it though, because I can turn it up a hill and I'll have to back off of it because it goes to getting up around 1100 degrees. You don't want to. You're about to melt something. Then you better get out of it or change gears.
And the aluminum's the first to melt, whether it's the piston or the head.
Yeah.
You got the exhaust running underneath them aluminum beds too on the Ford trucks. They start melting aluminum there.
Yeah.
It's that hot.
No, you got the bank
I'm
system set up there. That's a 5-inch sewer pipe going back with the bank system. There's plenty of exit.
I've always been fascinated with diesel trucks, and you just not even what we drive, but like the pickup trucks and stuff. How much power that they can put down is just amazing. I mean, the torque, like he said, it's not horsepower. The horsepower number, it's like 1,000 horsepower on some of these new diesels that are for consumer grade trucks.
Right,
they're putting out 1,000, not horsepower, 1,000 pound-feet of torque. You know, it's just incredible.
Yeah, my neighbor's got one of the new 6.7 Fords, and it's got 1,000 foot-pounds of torque.
Wow.
It's got so much
Some
power.
of those Ford Super Duties are pretty hard.
He don't want you don't want to get one of them trucks off in the grass or something because they've got so much torque. You just pull them in gear and they just start spinning. You know, it's not good for off-roading.
Yeah, get down time to get to Harrisburg.
Certainly will. I mean, you have no problem getting there.
But there's like a horsepower and torque war between all the pickup trucks now. I think it's Ford or Ram has a pickup truck that can pull 40,000 pounds. You're getting into tractor trailer territory there, and this is it's a dually. You know, but it's a super duty or heavy duty pickup truck that can pull 40,000 pounds.
Wow,
it's nuts.
That is.
Yeah, but he's still registering their plate at $102. 7,000 GVW.
Yeah, I went to my truck has got I've got a 25,000 pound tag on it because the truck and trailer will weigh close to 10 or 12, and I wanted to be able. I've got a dump trailer. I wanted to be able to haul 5 tons of gravel. So I pay. Of course, I run a farm tag because I don't go very far from home with that particular truck. That saves me, but it's still like $275 a year, and it'd be double that, I think, if it was a commercial tag.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, well, like you said, if you're only hauling every now and again, that kind of hurts. That's why you want to get it as low as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
And
but I want to be able to use
they're not
mine whenever I want to.
Right. They're not going to know anything different until you actually get pulled over. And then it's like,
there you go.
Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, you get away
sorry,
with
officer, I didn't know.
Right. And then you pay.
That's the secret. Don't get caught.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't lift.
Was any of you guys ever around the old V8 Cat engines?
Not me.
No.
It's all been inline.
Yeah, 3408 what they are. Most of them, the engine was mostly used in the bigger equipment, like the 631 scrapers and the D9 bulldozers, but they made a few truck engines, and they said them things could gross 80,000 pounds and would accelerate just like a car when you was on flat ground. Of course,
Wow.
there
Right.
again, we don't know how much fuel they was burning while they was accelerating. And even 25, 30 years ago, California wouldn't let them come in there. But they were wicked.
Right. But the Cat even made for a little while on-road trucks.
Mhm.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
they
remember
were a
seeing.
flop.
They didn't last long, but I'm thinking,
They
driving by
were
a Cat down on 81 there.
the engines in those trucks was a joint venture between Caterpillar and International. What is that, International? The Maxi Force or something?
Yeah, door force or something. Yeah, I know what you. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
they were
I'm
a
lost on
joint
that one.
venture. But
I remember
they
seeing
didn't
the
last
dump trucks.
long. There's still a
Caterpillar.
few of them around here, but I never didn't really like
What's
the looks of them myself.
Was that their Achilles heel? Was it just the style of it, or was it something that was deeper than that it just didn't take off? I mean, you think something like a Cat.
It was the way the style, the front end was.
It was an odd looking truck.
Yeah, it was an
compared
odd
to anything
looking
out
truck,
there.
and then like you said, the joint venture with Cat and International.
Yeah,
It just didn't mesh.
didn't jive.
Yeah, just didn't mesh.
Well, International had trouble playing well together.
Right.
They went through the same thing. Now they was with Ford for a long time, but I heard that when it warranty work, it went to coming down to warranty work. International went to backing up on it. They wouldn't help with the warranty work, and I heard that's one reason Ford and International ain't together no more. The 6.7 is a true Ford.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right about that, because the 7.3s, at Bethlehem Ford, they would send them right over to AB International, which was, right off Club Avenue right there, like 1,800 yards away from them.
Right.
And they would do the warranty work because it was the engine, not the truck. So they would send it over to International to do the international work on the motor. Then it would come back or whatever else Ford had to do.
Wasn't International sold to, or Navistar took over International, and then Volkswagen?
That's when Navistar took over after that. Well, after Ford split with them, that was the 2003 was when they stopped, because 2003 there was the option for the 7.3 or 6.0, and then the 6.0 took over, and that was the end of the old International motors that went in them. But I'm trying to think what that. I can see the name on the side of the truck for International. What they called it. What they called it.
The International Cat.
Yeah.
Well, you knew that International with General Motors now, didn't you?
No.
Yeah, like their 5500 style trucks. The only thing different between the cabs is the grills. But International and General Motors are in cahoots now with that size truck. The International is the best looking truck because the grill looks a lot better. It's got a better looking grill than the Chevrolet, but they are joined together now somehow. I just wonder how long that's going to last.
Right.
Well, International's on, or I don't know if it still is, but it was Navistar, and that's owned by Volkswagen Group over in Germany. That's they're European.
Well,
or are they separate?
It is a different name. It's not International. I just, my old way of saying it, that's what I associate it with. But I think you're right. It is actually called Navistar now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than likely.
Volkswagen, with whatever their trucking division is over in Europe, which I think is Navistar over there, and they bought International because that's why they're bringing back the Scout, the old International Scout from the 70s.
Yeah.
My grandfather had one, and Volkswagen is starting up the International Scout again. They're bringing it back as a SUV and a pickup truck.
I heard that also.
Yeah, it's good. A little bug.
No, they look cool. Did you see the pictures of them?
They're going to rust away too.
What?
They're going to rust away too.
No, hopefully not.
My mom and dad in the late 70s or early 80s almost bought a Scout. I'd give anything if they had bought it. I thought they were cool.
No, My grandparents had two. When I was real little, they had a 72 Scout 2. And then when my grandfather found out that Scout was ending production in 1980, he didn't want to get another one. He went out and he bought one of the last ones off the line.
Wow.
1980 International Scout. And he had that until he died. It rusted out so many times, and they sprayed foam in it to fill it up. It just kept rusting. Yeah, it just kept. I was gonna, when he passed away, I was gonna try to bring it back to life.
Yeah.
And I had two guys come out. One of my friends came out, and he's auto body, and he's like, no, there's not enough here to even work with. You'd have to buy a new body.
Wow.
And then the engine ended up being seized up because it was sat for so many years. And we couldn't even get it to crank anymore.
Wow.
So they just ended up selling. I guess whoever bought it brought it back. But I just remember the Scout. I have childhood memories of that vinyl floor, this ugly plaid seat, a fabric seat on it. My grandfather with a spittoon wedged between the box to shift for 4-wheel drive and 3-speed manual transmission.
Right.
I remember my grandmother, who was 5'0", sitting in the Scout driving that manual transmission. She had to look between the steering wheel, the dashboard, and the steering wheel is how she looked out the front of that thing.
Got a little move.
She was so short, but she drove that thing all the time. Yeah, that old Scout he plowed with it. He went in the fields with it because they had a little farm that they ran until, even when my grandfather was working as a trucker, they ran a little farm, and that Scout went everywhere, and it never died. I don't know of any mechanical issues until he stopped using it. He parked it, and then it just went to shit.
It was just setting.
But when it was driving, never got stuck that I can remember.
Wow.
I mean, he would pull people out. He'd plow us out. Because we lived out in New Smithville up here. We were the last person that PennDOT even thought to come and plow our roads.
Right.
And that's back when it used to snow. And that Scout got us out of a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, I think the time my mom got rushed to the hospital when she had my brother.
Oh, no kidding.
When she went into labor, the Scout took her in there.
Wow.
And that was a 3-speed. You got out on the highway with that thing. Yeah. You were high RPMs with that V8.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That is
they
great,
cool.
Great memory.
Yeah, they were built to compete with the Broncos of the, back in the day. Ford came out with a Bronco. Or actually, I think Scout actually came out in the 50s somewhere, and Chevy came out with their Suburban. So everybody was on the SUV kick back then. So International built the Scout, and it was a tractor. It was a truck.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot of niceties in them. It was meant to work.
It's hard to find one of them Ford Broncos from that era that's in good shape. They were bad to rust, too. Ain't no telling how many of them went to the junkyards just because they fell apart.
Right.
Right.
That's why there's a lot of companies now that just make like body kits for them that are like fiberglass tubs, and then you put doors on.
Like Jeeps, you can buy a whole Jeep body.
Yeah, and they're not that expensive either. Because when I was looking to redo the Scout, there's a company that you buy a fiberglass Scout tub for whatever Scout frame you got, and then they sell the doors and the roof. Because Scout actually they were one of the first to do the removable roofs.
Wow. Like a hard top.
Yeah, it was a hard top roof. It was my grandfather took it off one time, and it took 6 guys to pick it up off the back. And he said, "Well, that's never happening again." He put it back on, and that was it.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It's not something you want to do by yourself.
No, I had a Jeep Wrangler, and I had a hard top roof.
Yeah,
and I was able to do it. It was hard, but I was able to lift that thing off myself. But those old ones, no, you needed at least 3 people. Excuse me.
Kind of like setting a camper shell off the truck.
Yeah. Those aren't light either.
Yep. They ain't light at all.
Nope. No, that's for sure.
So you got any stories throughout the years working on all this equipment and everything?
Nothing really exciting. I've had a few things to happen. Like I say, I've been worked at night and drove. One of the strangest things, I was going to a place in North Carolina that's down towards the eastern end of the state. I guess it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was between a little town called Statesville and Winston-Salem, North Carolina, on I-40. And I was just cruising along, and wide awake. I remember it too well for me to have been dozing off. Wham bang, I heard an awful crash. Well, the truck kept running. Nothing happened to the truck. Got on down a couple of more towns down and pulled into a rest area and got out of the truck. And I didn't notice it when I got out. It had a set of Nerf bars. It was a regular cab truck, but had a set of pipe-looking Nerf bars. And went in the restroom, done my business, and come back out. And that whole Nerf bar off the driver's side was gone. And I do not know if, like I say, I wasn't asleep. It could have maybe it was a gator laying in the road as far as a recap or something had come apart. Not necessarily a recap, but a piece of rubber. Or I've often wondered if a deer didn't run into me or something. But speaking of deer, I've never hit a deer, but I had a deer hit me one night. It run off a bank and just dove and stove up the side of my service truck. And some of the guys come by later on and said, "You see that deer had been run over?" I said, "Yeah, I was one. It run over me. I didn't run over it." But that blowed my mind when that Nerf ball was torn plumb off.
Wow. I've had a deer do that to me going across some of the back roads going down. So I know what that's like.
Yeah, I had a few deer running the side of me with the truck.
Out of you, yeah.
Ripped the turn signal off the side of the trailer. He ran right underneath the trailer. Ripped his head clean off, along with my turn signal. Now I just seen him spinning. The head went that way. The body was spinning in the middle of the road.
Wow.
I'm like, well, that's what you get, dummy.
It happens.
It does. It does.
They was 5 or 6 of us mechanics. We had a D8 in Greer, South Carolina. There's a BMW plant down there, and we were doing the grading for an expansion. Well, there was 5 or 6 of us mechanics, plus my boss man come down there. We were going to set in and, I mean, change everything on the undercarriage. And we were getting ready to go to work. Well, one of the mechanics got in the 330 excavator, I think it was, and was moving it down there to lift some of the materials off the flatbed we took down there. I had my back turned to him. Well, all at once, I thought it was a crack of lightning. He'd stuck the boom of that excavator into the power line, and it lit that place up just like it was the 4th of July. That scared the fool out of me. Sparks and everything flew everywhere. He just wasn't paying attention. Wow. The next day, that was on a Saturday. Monday morning, I was back down there, and some of the guys, it was over the plant or something, come down there and asked me, said, "Do you know anything about that power line getting tore down or anything?" I said, "I don't know a thing in the world what happened to that. I don't reckon they ever did figure out that we was the one done it." But
I didn't see it. I didn't do it. Unless there's a video. In that case, I am sorry.
Absolutely.
Plausible deniability.
That's right. Always. Always.
Yeah, when they hit you hit those poles, man, metal on metal right there. It's connected directly to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yep.
It's gonna do some.
Yeah, we've done a lot of heavy work. That was pretty tough because we pulled the tracks out from under that machine, the rollers and everything, and we was sitting on sandy dirt. We was pushing the tracks back in under it, and you had to watch what you was doing. You'd push the tracks, and they'd go to burying themselves. You about had to hook something on one end, pull and push just to keep them from burying themselves. But that's pretty tough work there.
Wow.
But yeah, you guys who do that stuff in the field, it's one thing to do it in a shop with lifts and jacks and the proper equipment around. You're doing it in the field. You got to improvise. What is it? Overcome, improvise, and adapt.
Yep.
It's all bush fix.
Yes, it is.
We back for 5 minutes. Scratch your head. I think I got it.
We were doing a job in Palesor, South Carolina, and we was working in a fly ash pond. Fly ash is the derivative of when you burn coal. It's the ash that comes out of the coal. Well, the way they got it out was they would pump it into big ponds with water. It'd be ash and water to come out. Well, we was down there trying to I forget exactly what they were doing. They were doing some sort of building a new pond or something. So we had a long stick track hoe. It's one of those excavators you see with a great big long boom on it. Little old bitty bucket and a great big long boom. We had a guy that had got out on that pond. Well, if you worked it just right, you could, what they called it was massaging it. You could work that fly ash and it would push the water out of it. Well, it would withstand the weight of the machine then. Well, he fooled around out there and never did massage it per se, and he buried that 320 excavator. Just the back end, the motor, the fan was hitting in the water, and we like to have never got out of there with that. It happened at 2:00, so I had to drive from Asheville to Pelzer. They sent me and another mechanic, and it was dark before we ever got that thing drug over to the edge of the pond and got it pulled up out of there. We broke cables, and we were pulling it with another 320 and a D6 bulldozer. But that was a mess down there that evening. Just cause the boy wasn't paying attention.
That'll do it.
Yep.
Don't pay attention.
Yep.
Distracted driving, happens every time.
We
Just even with heavy equipment operator. You
Yeah.
see a heavy equipment. They were doing something out in Phillipsburg when I was running in the city, and they had all these excavators on the hill. That's why I was running the city. Every day I'd pass, I see all these excavators, and then one day I go by, I see some smoke, and there's an excavator laying at the bottom of this big hill, and an ambulance down there. And it's like,
Wow.
He must have, because that was had to be a 50-foot drop, and this is one of these big giant bend in the middle excavators. I don't know the model numbers.
Right.
He must have rolled that thing all the way down the hill.
Wow.
Not paying attention. Oof. All it takes is 1 second.
Wow. Yeah.
Mhm.
You're banging around on the inside of that thing.
Trying to adjust the radio, and all of a sudden the one track goes over here.
And so do you.
Yeah.
We had a couple of machines.
Yeah. I don't know any excavators that float.
We had a couple of machines that upended, but we never had nobody get hurt bad. I had one guy get backed over with a skid steer, broke his leg, but we never had no terrible accidents. Everybody survived. I'm glad I never was around any fatalities or any kind. They were some other construction companies in this area had some fatalities over the years, but I'm just glad I wasn't involved in none of that. That ain't my cup of tea.
Boy, I hear that. Yeah, that's.
I think it'll be something you forget either. You see when somebody
Yeah.
get crushed by.
Well, I don't
equipment or
know.
something.
You'd either forget it or
Even-
you'd think about it every time you went to do something similar.
Yeah.
Right.
And how? Yeah.
And it's the same in the trucking industry. Somebody
is.
was killed in a truck. I look
Yeah,
at
like
Wilson.
Yeah.
You think about that every time you go around a corner or something. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Think about
You
that
know-
every time you go around a corner or up a hood of
Up-
somebody.
Right.
The state, either a building, superintendents that's actually doing building, or you've got companies that come out and test the compaction of the dirt that you're rolling in to build up a building pad or whatnot. Now, they was a couple of those guys got run over. I know of 2 different cases that happened within the last 10 or 12 years around here. And part of it was their own fault. They were bad to wear earbuds and stuff. Well, that's why you got a machine with a backup alarm on it to keep you aware. I will admit, though, you kind of get, you ignore that backup alarm. You get so used to hearing it, you don't pay no attention to it. But that's even extra silly to have a set of earbuds in when you're out on the ground around that equipment running. But that was bad deals too.
You hear the sound 100 times a day. You just kind of block it. It's like the
Yeah,
alarms in our
it's-
trucks.
Exactly.
I don't even know.
Yep. That's the
I
unfortunate
was
part of
involved
that.
a whole
Yeah,
lot with. We had a heavy equipment trailer that had 7 axles. The trailer itself had 7 axles under it, and we moved We had one time we had a D10, and we used it to move the D9, and then we had the 631 scrapers, and then we had a great big roller, 825 roller. Now that was interesting. We was building a Walmart in Toccoa, Georgia. Well, we got a job in Dawsonville, Georgia. So we had to move the big equipment from Toccoa to Dawsonville. Well, we couldn't go across country because we were so big and heavy. We went plumb into the outskirts of Atlanta and around the Beltway to turn back up to go to Dawsonville. We had to run like a 75 or 100 miles out of our way just to get it moved. But now that's something.
Wow.
It's amazing to watch a good truck driver pull a trailer with that much big of a load because they can't see around it. They can see to one point or the other, especially with a bulldozer. They're looking right straight into the blade, and it's amazing to watch a good truck driver do his thing. I tell you, we had one that actually over the years we had two that was really impressive to work with because they just done a fine job. We've had a couple. Had one old fella that he was just a nervous wreck every time he got close to it, and you just knowed something was going to happen because he'd get so jittery and nervous when we'd go to move something like that. But then you'd have your flat tires with all that weight on, and that was, huh? Dude, what did you say?
I got enough trouble driving a box around. I can't imagine driving the truck with these giant, the equipment that hangs 10 feet off each side, and I can't.
Oversized loads it's difficult.
That takes a special breed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really
and I ain't it.
Yeah, it's a good truck driver's hard to beat, and prone to the construction. I wouldn't have to deal directly with people like you had to deal with all them turbine Suburbans and all them out there. That wasn't something I come in that close contact with. It was the drivers you work with them every day, seen them every day, talk to them every day, and worked with some of them 15 years or longer. They were just good guys, but matter of fact, Brian, we done a job not far from where Tony lives now. Foothills, the Foothills Parkway. If you go out of Maryville going what? Have you heard of Cage Cove?
Yeah,
All right. You leave Maryville going towards Cage Cove. All right. There's a new section of the Foothills Parkway built that we worked on that too. That goes from the top of the hill between Maryville and Townsend, and it comes out over in Weir's Valley, like if you hung a left to go on back to Pigeon Forge. But I'm not too far from him where I'm at right now.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Only one of those towns I heard of with Pigeon Forge.
I was going to say that would have been it, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, it's really cool. It is. It's really cool.
Now, where are you located at in comparison to Gettysburg and Lancaster County and all over there? Where are you at in relation to that?
You're not far from Lancaster here.
Yeah, probably just about
20 miles tops.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put it in North Carolina terms. We're at the Cabela's of the East.
They
61 and 8
okay.
and
38. Yep. Yep. We're just a little bit south.
I've been to
southeastern Pennsylvania.
I've been to the Amish country up there, and I've been to Gettysburg in that area. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
I've come all the way down to that area from Niagara Falls up there. It's a long story. My grandmother is buried in Detroit City. Back in the day, my mother's family went up there to work back when everybody left the South to go to Detroit and work. Well, we made a big long trip, and we actually left Detroit, went into Canada, and then come out at Niagara Falls and worked our way down and ended up in the Amish country down there. Just that was a whirlwind trip we took one week.
Yeah, we're about maybe a half hour or so from Lancaster. 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Amish country.
How fast you drive.
Amish country got a lot bigger in the past couple of decades.
Yes,
all the way over in Ohio, Indiana. The Amish, they don't have any more land to buy here, so they've been moving west.
Yeah,
and south.
You start seeing those horse and buggies riding around.
I grew up near Kutztown, Pennsylvania, and that was a lot of Amish used to come in there, and Mennonites too.
Mennonite and Amish. Yeah,
the Mennonites are the ones driving cars.
Yes.
The pure Amish are the ones driving the horses.
Yes. I usually get behind them on a Sunday morning on my way to church, which is on the side of roads. It's a pain.
Watch out for the horse crap.
Because you're going across 662 and it's all bendy, And and you can't go around them because you can't see around them. You know, so yeah.
Some of
I
the
mean,
best
other than
roads
that-
in Pennsylvania are down near Lancaster.
They
And it's
are.
when
There's
I
some great
rode a
stuff.
motorcycle, we go in a group, and that was the biggest thing you had to watch for was the horse crap on the side of the road. You're riding
Yeah.
two by two. You never want to be the guy on the outside of the lane because you were the one that's going to get hit in the horse shit.
Right.
So yeah, we used to do that all the time, and you see the horse and buggies all the time, except on a Sunday. And you're in the morning they were all going
They're all
to
on
church,
Sunday, go to meeting,
and then at night they were driving home. So
Yep.
all throughout the day you didn't have to worry about the horse and buggy.
There's this one guy in Kutztown. That was hilarious. I never seen it before, but he has I would be at church like on a Sunday night or whatever, and I'd leave and it was dark. So one Sunday I see this light bouncing down the road. I'm like, and he had it. I mean, LED lights all over underneath it. I'm like, what the heck, dude?
It was a lowrider wagon.
Yeah,
with
it was a horse and buggy.
Pimped
I was
his
like,
wagon.
This is crazy.
His wagon.
It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen.
Hey, I've
It
actually
was
seen
really
those
cool. I should take a
videos on TikTok before.
But
There
you know
you
the
go.
sad thing about that is, those are the people that get hit by cars because they say they can't
They
see
can't see them.
Yeah,
That was a
that's
kid.
the weirdest thing.
You were lucky if you had them with the triangle on the orange
Right,
triangle
yeah.
on the back.
Yeah,
Now they got lights all over. It's
Yep.
crazy. It really is. I've seen the videos on YouTube. I actually saw one in person. That's what it just threw me. I'm like,
you know they say about us, there ain't no feeling like chicken mobiling, you know. With all the chicken lights on the trailer, so I don't know what the hell that.
Yeah, I think some of the people who see UFOs are just cattle haulers with 10 million lights going down the road. That can't be a truck.
oh, that is funny. That is
You know,
funny.
I have no idea what the Amish call that. but-
Well, that
Yeah,
is a
me
good
neither.
question.
It-
Has any of you guys actually seen any UFO driving?
I have never seen one driving.
No, me neither. I've seen some unusual, freaking offensive people, UFOs, but I've never.
Well, I actually saw something strange one night. Well, it wasn't really night. It was in the evening. I'd say it was getting dusky dark, and I was going towards Asheville, and I actually seen a fireball in the sky, and I stopped on the side of the interstate and got out and watched it, and it just slowly got smaller and smaller. It wasn't moving. It was staying stationary in one spot, and it got smaller and smaller, and then all at once it just went away. But you could look up in the sky because it was getting dark enough. You could see some form of aircrafts flying away from that ball.
Mhm.
And of course, I checked on the internet. It's been 12, 13 years ago. Looked on the internet, couldn't find out nothing about it. Nothing was reported. But that was pretty unusual for, to catch your eye, see it on the interstate, and be able to stop and get out of the vehicle and go over next to the guardrail and see it and actually watch it go away. That was pretty wild. I'm not saying I'm a believer,
that
but
is a-
I ain't a disbeliever either.
Richard, I know how you feel. I mean, I know what I saw when I was a kid. I saw when I talked about it on Tony's show with him, and I verified it with my older brother, and he said, yeah, he remembers it. He remembers the incident and everything else. It was a crazy. I mean, the whole family saw it. It was one of those deals.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes me a believer. I don't know if that makes me a knower. I don't know if that makes me what. I don't know what I believe about it, but I know I saw it, and I it is what it is. I can't unsee it. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. If I saw Bigfoot, I'd do the same thing, but I didn't see. I'd love to see Bigfoot, but at a distance. I don't want to drive by Bigfoot.
I'm good with a picture or a video. I don't need anywhere in the vicinity.
I just want to see it. You know what I mean? Like I want to see him. I really
You don't need
if he
no
really
one-on-one
exists,
time.
No.
If he's there, I want to see it, but I want to see it in person. So I know I saw it. You know what I
I
mean?
will.
I don't have that kind of
I
curiosity.
will tell you all what I do. We've got. I live on 42 acres. Part of it's pasture, part of it's mountain land. I used to have cattle, but in the summertime, not now that I'm not working, I don't care what time I go to bed. I will get up there on that mountain, ride my 4-wheeler up there, and look for stuff like that. I don't know. There again, I'm not a believer. I'm not a disbeliever. But I mean, I would like to at least see something. And there's something to it. There's got to be some truth to it. But I still don't know until I see one. I don't know. I'm skeptical to a point. But
Yep. Because the sad thing is that I can't trust people enough.
Yeah.
Because people hoax. People
we were all
do
let
stuff.
down by the Loch Ness monster.
We were, right? See,
on his deathbed, he said, "No, that was just me.
Yeah,
I was just messing around."
But it's just, and that's why if they exist, I'd like to see one, just to see it at a distance. I don't want to be up close. I don't want to get personal. I don't want to smell them or nothing. I don't want to be that close. But just, you know what I mean? Like, I just try, like you're driving in my truck out the turnpike or something. You just see him, or you know, whatever. I'd be okay with that. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know about the big aliens. I believe in aliens. I just don't think they've been here. I think there's got to be something else out there. If it really is as big as the scientists say it is, there's got to be something out there. But I don't until I see it for myself. And again, my broke. I don't want to see it. I'm good where I'm at. I don't need to be involved in any of that.
I get you. Yeah, I totally get it.
For us to think that in this universe that we live in, that we would be the only living beings in it would be selfish on our part, I think. And that ain't being.
Planet says.
Well, and it's not being sacrilegious to believe that God could have created another planet just like this one. We don't know. So I feel like there's other forms of life out there myself.
I cannot disagree with you.
It might not even be.
I don't find anything disagreeable about that.
I went down a rabbit hole with that too, or on YouTube and stuff. You know, people think, oh, we're gonna find other life forms. It could be little green people coming up. Other intelligent life forms could be so small we can't even see them with our eye, or they could be so infinitely gigantic. You know,
that we're inside something of that.
Yeah, it's just, but we won't. I don't think we'll know that in my lifetime anyway, and I'm perfectly good with that. Yeah, I'm happy right here. As long as I got a Walmart nearby, I can go shopping. I'm good. I don't need any more out of life. I'm a simple man.
You are.
I don't need Bigfoots. I don't need aliens. Nope, I'm good.
I don't need. It's just. I'll tell you what. I was 5 years old when I saw what we saw, and it has lived with me my whole life, and I've questioned it my whole life. And it's always been there. There's nothing I can do. I can't erase it. I cannot unsee it.
See, that's probably. So I'm happy I never. I don't need to live with any more crap bouncing around my head.
I mean, I don't. It's not like it's been like this trauma thing. It's just
he's sitting there biting his nails, looking at the sky.
It is what it is, and it's like you just wonder. You know, that's all.
I don't have the wonder in me. I guess
that's all right. You know, I wonder for you.
Hollywood did it for me. They made Alien the movie.
Yes, sir.
I'm interested somewhat in the paranormal. And the reason I hit my phone, the house I live in is the old family home place. It was built in 1900.
Okay.
Well, my dad was born in the house. Well, I know I've had relatives that's bound to have passed away in this house. Well, I've gutted the whole house, worked on every inch of it. They always say that construction like that will stir up the paranormal. I have never seen nothing. I've been up here, been in this house at all hours of the night, working. I've lived in this house for 30 years now. My wife and my daughter swears that they've seen my great-grandfather. She described what she saw to my dad, and Dad said that's exactly what he looked like. He wore overalls with boots and a hat all the time. But they've seen it, and I've not seen it. And you know, it's one of them things that wouldn't bother me to see it just to kind of verify that, you know, there again, it's the skeptic in me because if I've not seen it, so I don't know if I believe in it or not. But yet they say they've seen stuff in the house, so I don't know, which they're not afraid. There was nothing malicious about it. It was my great-grandfather's spirit.
Right.
But I've not seen nothing, and I've had more experience around and in the house than anybody has, so. But
right, that's fascinating.
It's all interesting.
It is. It really is.
I guess that's why you found us through the Confessionals, Tony's show. And he was listening to that.
Yeah, we've kind of got away from mechanicing and truck driving. Ain't we? Sorry about that.
Not at all. No,
It's the way this show's driven.
it is. We go where we go, and we're okay with that.
I'd like to say we go off the rails, but we constantly fall off the rails and go.
Sometimes we haven't even found them, so. But it's okay. Wherever our guest goes, that's where we're going, and that's okay. I don't mind because I find this stuff fascinating. You know, I mean, my kid's into it.
Yeah.
So
He's made a career out of it.
he has made a career out of it. So
Yeah, that's
and
what's
I have
cool.
no qualm. Yep, it is very cool. I'm really proud of him. I really am. So, but well, Richard, this has been a blast. It really has been fun sitting here talking with you and just spending some time. And I really appreciate you coming on and contacting us. And if you would just do us a favor, just hold on with us as we sign off. Just stay with us for a few minutes.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure everything up, all that. But we just wanted to say thank
Okay.
you so much for coming on and talking with us. And you
Well,
know,
I've enjoyed it. This is
we'd love to
the
have
first
you on.
time I've ever done anything like this.
Well, I'm glad you got a hold of us. I really am.
And please pass our information to your wife and try
Yeah.
to get her on here. That'd be a great interview too.
We'd love to have her. We'd love to have her on. It'd be great. It would be a great
Okay.
conversation. It really would be. Yeah, we'd love to. We'd love to, and we just really appreciate you coming on. It was a blast.
Yeah, I'll talk to her.
Okay, and it was very informative just having you on and chit chatting with you and talking about your experiences. Your experience have been it's a fascinating life. It really is, and that's the thing I love about this show is that we talk to people, and you don't have to be a famous person to have a fascinating life. I think everybody's lives are fascinating, and to hear your story and hear the things that you've done and where you've been, it's interesting to me. And I really appreciate you, sincerely appreciate you coming on and talking with us. All of that being said,
yeah, we'll do it again sometime.
fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. All that being said, Shipper,
Keep the hammer down the hammer lane. Share the show. Share with everybody, anybody, any person, thing, or otherwise you can find.
Yeah, what he
Download it, upload it, do whatever you need to do.
just load it.
Load it.
Load it.
said. What he said.
What
It's
he said.
available on the social media platforms, Facebook,
X,
and the kid X, and
Instagram,
Like
and subscribe.
and subscribe. Fantastic, guys.
No, what's the other one I'm thinking of? Oh, the YouTubes.
The YouTubes?
Yeah.
Yes, we're on the YouTubes too.
So,
All right.
we're available. Just
We're
search us
available.
out.
Yes.
Keep the hammer down, hammer lane. Have a good night.
Thank
Ciao.
you, everybody. Take care.